All right, I think we're going to move right along. So I'm going to have Sue Cotner from the Affordable Housing Partnership come talk to you guys about some of their landlord training programs and their first-time homebuyer programs. We all know buying your first house can be very intimidating, and there's lots of things to know and take in. So they have some really great programs for help, whether it's financial or even just kind of trainings, things to know, things like that. Before I turn it over to Sue, I'm also going to thank all of our sponsors, who of course I neglected to thank at the beginning. The City of Albany and the Albany County Land Bank are putting on this awesome event with us, so thank you to our partners and everyone who sponsored us. The New York State Council on the Arts, Aurora Insurance, Albany Artisans, Berkshire Hathaway, and Old Albany Real Estate. So thank you all for all of your generous support.
Hey everybody, thanks for being here today, and for all of you guys out there in Cyberland, we're glad you're here. So I'm Susan Cotner, I'm with Affordable Housing Partnership, and we've been working for the past 30 years providing advice primarily to first-time home buyers, helping them get the information they need so they can make a smart investment in their homes. We encourage people to start with a program we call Homebuyer 101. It's an orientation program that really gives you the overall steps to the process. It features a lender who talks about credit qualifying so that you can get approved for the best loan products out there. After that class, we encourage you to come in and meet one-on-one because we want to know more about you. We want to know where you're looking to buy, what your income is, so that we can really get the resources and the information available to you so that you know kind of how you can start packaging up all the money and programs out there. As Kara mentioned, we have a landlord training program. So for all of you who are interested in taking on that brand new small business of being a landlord, we do really encourage you to take a look at that. In addition to our program, there's a great program as well in Troy, in the city of Troy. We're happy to be able to partner with the city of Albany. They do a lot of great they're great partners in that program, providing a lot of good information on code requirements and the things to know about being a great landlord, retaining good tenants who work with you and keep your home well maintained. We also offer a lot of great connections to NYSERDA and energy efficiency resources. It's a program that we can assist families and households with after you own a property. Basically, it starts with a free home energy assessment, just like you get a home inspection done. After you buy, you get an energy efficiency inspection completed. The contractor puts together a scope of work, and then we can help you create that financing package for how to get that work accomplished. I'm also affiliated with the Albany Community Land Trust, and I just want you to know that we are currently specializing in acquisition and rehab of buildings in Albany. We currently manage 55 units, rental units, affordable rental units, so I can speak a little bit to our experience with acquisition and rehab. So when you're thinking about buying, as she said, you know, the first thing is, am I ready to buy? And for us, as your housing advisor, we're all about the money, right? We want to make sure that your credit is where it needs to be so that you can qualify for the best loan products out there. I can tell you that, you know, if you have a 740 or higher credit score, you will qualify for any product out there. But there are some really, really wonderful new credit offerings. The Sunny Mae Give Us Credit product in particular, where they're not looking at what your credit score is if you're a first-time home buyer. They're really looking at what's your rent payment history been, right? So for those of you out there who are paying $1,100 a month in rent faithfully on time every month for at least the past 12 months, there's a really great chance that you're going to credit qualify for a terrific loan product. So again, that's part of the conversation that we'll have. You want to know, again, how much of a loan you qualify for, and not only the maximum loan that you can qualify for, but what's affordable to you. And we really like to coach folks to make sure that you remember that owning a home isn't just about that housing payment. It's about what's that ongoing maintenance cost. What's that new utility bill going to be, and how affordable is that? And or our goal is to make sure you're not eating spaghetti for the next 30 years, right? We also want to make sure that you take advantage of all the different grant resources that are out there. So if you're thinking about buying a house that needs some repair, our hope for you is that you are completely realistic, that it's going to totally bust your budget and be way more expensive than you had ever hoped. You know, our worst nightmare is somebody coming in who's worked with Aragon, has acquired a wonderful land bank home for $7,500, and they have $10,000 and think they're going to be able to own and occupy that home for that dollar amount. And that unfortunately isn't what the cost is. So again, as I mentioned, the Land Trust has been buying and rehabbing homes, and what our minimum investment these days for a rehab has been about $150,000. We just spent over $300,000 on a 2-unit home that the land bank sold us for $7,500. So again, it's a lot of where is that cash coming from? Even for buildings and properties that are already occupied, tenants are living in them. If you've got mold, if you've got a leaky roof, if you need to have kitchen and bathrooms updated, you know, it's technically habitable, you're still going to find that's going to cost you $50,000 to $60,000 per unit to get that rehab and update done so that you can get that house up to code. So again, where's that money coming from? What we really encourage you to do is work with resources like TAP, Detroit Architectural Project, to go through your building and really get you the costs that you're going to need to come up with. You know, that investment of having that initial inspection, ideally before you close on the purchase, will save you so much money, because it's a lot easier to walk away from a $600 to $700 initial inspection than it is to walk away from a property that you've got maybe, you know, $70,000 into, and now you don't have the extra, you know, 80 that you need to complete it. Again, that inspection is really, I think, you know, Lisa's going to go through all that stuff, but it's the unexpected costs that you never really truly budget for. Like even just the clean out is costing us $6,000, right? Doing that interior demolition to get rid of the walls that have lead paint on them, that's costing $11,000. Budget for those ongoing costs of utilities while you're doing your rehab. Those are the types of things that we really encourage you to look at. And then where's the money coming from to deal with the mold, the asbestos, and the lead paint, right? Especially if you're an investor, especially if you're a family with young kids. You know, those are things that you definitely want to address and resolve. The materials that I put up on the share drive has a sample budget, just so you can see kind of the costs that we've incurred to get a vacant house rehab. So where's the money come from? That's really your question of me, I think. And it depends on whether or not you're going to be a homeowner, owner-occupant, or if you're an investor owner. And the question is going to be, can it be occupiable today, or is it a gut rehab? Because the programs are completely geared to those two things. Who's occupying it, and can it be currently occupied? So Paul Hurley, we'll probably put him on the spot. He's the guy that can tell you best about mortgage products. So I'm going to call upon him here to stand up with me and describe some of the great mortgage products that are out there. So for owner occupants, and then I think there's one product for investor owners, but Paul's going to tell you about that.
Real quick, we had a question about the energy program that you have. Can you give them the name of it again and where they can find more information?
Yes, so it's on our website, and I'm going to touch base on it here again at the end, but basically it's a nice service assisted home performance program. If you go to our website, ahphome.org, we have an energy tab, and that'll walk you through the steps that you need to take in order to qualify and take that first step, which is the free home energy audit. But I'll be back. Yeah, Paul's going to talk about mortgages, and then I'll be back.
Thank you. So as Susan said, there are 3 different types of renovation loans for owner-occupied properties. Unfortunately, at this time, if you are looking at purchasing a non-owner occupied with a renovation loan, I only have a program for single unit properties. There are no programs for multi-unit renovation loans for investment properties. As far as the owner occupied properties, there's the FHA 203K, which is the most popular. It is for 1 to 4 family homes. It is 3.5% down. There is a Sunny May program, which on 1 or 2 family homes is 3% down. On 3 and 4 family homes, you can get away with 10% down. And there's a conventional, which is going to vary a little bit. 5% down for a 1 family, 15% down for a 2, or 20% down for a 3 or 4. All 3 loans operate in the same way in that they will give you the money necessary to purchase the home and get the money for the renovations that you're looking to do. The renovations generally come in 2 different parts. One is the required, the other is the desired. So what most of these programs do is they have you bring in what's called a HUD consultant. The consultant will go through the home with you and they will identify anything that they feel is health and safety related that has to be addressed. A very important thing to remember, we can finance ugly, but we can't finance broken. So if you really like Harvest Gold and Avocado Green, that's fine. We can finance that, okay? But the property has to be livable. So the consultant's going to determine what items are required to be done. Once they put that together, you're going to let them know what else you want to do. Okay, if we're replacing all the plumbing anyway, we may as well do this bathroom. Okay, so you'll let them know. The HUD consultant is going to be the bank's eyes and ears on the property. I am never going to see this home until you invite me for the housewarming party. Okay, so the consultant's going to go through, they're going to do a work right up to the bank. They're going to give us a material and labor breakdown so we can see what the total cost is. Very important. You, the buyer, are responsible for getting contractors. Okay, we don't have contractors. AHP doesn't have contractors. You've got to find the contractors who are then going to give us a work write-up, hopefully very similar to what the HUD consultant has done. All of the work that the HUD consultant has labeled does have to be accounted for on the contractor's work write-up. They're going to do material and labor. They're going to do a room-by-room breakdown the same way. We then are going to compare the two. If our HUD consultant comes in and says, okay, it's going to cost $45,000 to do all the work that you want to do. If your contractor comes in at 30, there's a good chance that they're just trying to get their foot in the door and then do change orders. These programs won't work that way, okay? So we need to make sure that all the work is accounted for. By the same token, if our guy comes in at 45 and your guy comes in at 60, he may be trying to take advantage of it, okay? A little bit of discrepancy is not bad, and then what we do is we have the contractor and the consultant talk and find out where's the difference, okay? If the contractor is considering using just laminate countertops and the consultant's got solid, solid whatever, okay? If you're okay with the laminate, then they can adjust that. Once those two are agreed, that's when we know what kind of a loan we're going to be doing. So that's the way the renovation loan works. You find a house, you identify it, figure out whether or not you're going to be able to come to terms, bring the consultant in. The consultant gives me a work write-up, and at that point, I can begin working on your loan application itself. I can't start an application until I know how much the renovations are going to be. Okay? Please bear in mind, renovation loans generally take longer to close than a normal straight-up purchase. You're looking anywhere from 75 to 90 days. And that's if everybody cooperates. The biggest problem that I've had recently is buyers trying to find contractors who have the time and the desire to do the paperwork. There is paperwork involved in this. I have a contractor down on Long Island that I have been working with since March, and he still hasn't sent me back a resume. It's a one-page form. I can't get him to do it, okay? So this is where the time delays come in, is trying to get the information back from the contractors. Okay, a couple things to remember about the contractors. They have to be insured. They have to be licensed if required by your municipality. Generally speaking, I recommend that you get a general contractor who's going to come in and oversee the entire project. Now, if you simply have one thing that needs to be done, the house you're purchasing was left unwinterized, the plumbing burst, okay? But it was only in the basement. So they need to go through and they need to replace the plumbing. Then all you need is a plumber, okay? You don't necessarily have to get a GC for that. But if you're going to be doing a number of items, if you're going to be doing sheetrock, if you're going to be doing roofing, if you're going to be doing, repointing of a chimney and such, that's when I recommend you get a general contractor in, and they will then be responsible for all of their sites. If there's going to be any paint done, any work where you're disturbing paint, whether it's replacing windows, whether it's tearing up cabinetry, whether it's repainting the place. If the house was built before 1979, the contractor has to be lead paint certified. I've run into this recently. There's a lot of them that just let them lapse. They didn't bother. We can't close on a Sunny May loan in particular without a lead paint certification. Once we've got all those numbers together, your loan basically takes two tracks. We have the income and asset portion, the credit portion of your package that's getting done. We have the renovation piece that's getting done. Once everything's approved, those merge. You go to closing, the seller gets the check and they go away. You get the garage door opener and the keys to the house. That money is then placed into an escrow account with the bank. The contractor, by and large, does not get money up front. The exception to that would be special order items. Okay. Other than that, it is expected that the contractor is going to be able to start the job and get to a reasonable place before they start asking for money. Okay. There are a couple of exceptions, and you'll need to talk about the particular program if that comes up. When the contractor reaches a point where they feel they're ready for a draw, the consultant comes back out to the house, reviews the work that's been done, goes down the punch list. He then verifies it with you. Are you happy with the work that's been done? If you're not, you let him know, and he talks to the contractor and you get it fixed. If you are, he notifies the bank and the money is sent to the contractor. This is a protection for both of you. You know that he is not going to get paid, he or she, the contractor, unless you're satisfied with the work that's done. And by the same token, the contractor knows you're not getting that money and holding on to it. The bank has it. So the only person that's getting paid for that job is that contractor. So they're protected as well. Once the job is 100% complete, the consultant signs off on the final piece, the final draw check is cut, and you're set. Any questions?
Yes, we have a question on mine.
Yes.
The question asked was, is there any part of the rehabilitation that can be done by itself, by, I guess, the homeowner itself?
By and large, if it's being financed, no. All money that's being sent out has to be going to contractors.
Can you just do the renovation piece and not be combined by, what if the place has already been purchased?
If you own the home already, you can do it as a refinance. You are limited in the refinance, however, Sunny May does not do refinances. So you'd either have an FHA or the home style, the Fannie Mae. I will tell you, by and large, it is easier to do it as an acquisition and rehab program than it is to do it as a refinance because of the way that they calculate the value of the home and such and the acquisition costs. So I have had some difficulty with people who went out, paid $5,000 or $7,000 or $10,000 cash and then wanted to put $60,000 into it, and coming up with making sure that we could get them the amount of money because of loan to value and such was sometimes difficult. Other questions?
Yes, a couple more things.
Thank you very much. I'm here if anybody has questions.
Kick Paul out there. So I do want to say again, Paul's got a lot of great experience offering bank mortgage products, right, to help people buy, rehab, renovate homes. There are a couple of other funding sources for home buyers. Home Headquarters, which is a group out of Syracuse, is offering loans now, working very closely with the land bank. I don't have a lot of details on what their products are. Erica can get us connected to them. So just so that you know, that's an opportunity as well. And then for investors, especially if you're looking at packaging together 5 or more units or properties, Community Preservation Corporation is a financing program. I think typically the minimum construction loan size they've got, the minimum is $250,000. They can also be a conduit for some Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac funding as well. So that's another group potentially to connect with. And I think CPC, as they're known, is an organization that, again, the Land Bank has worked with. They're pretty decent at accessing some grant funds from New York State as well to leverage the mortgage. But again, it's more for developers who are looking to do more than just that 1 or 2 family single house, right? This is for 5+ units properties. So again, we can provide more information on that. I want to wrap up by talking about some of the grant programs that are available. We just talked about the mortgage products that you would want to qualify for. Again, as you can imagine, for owner occupants, this is where the real programs are available. Through certain participating lenders, there's the Homebuyer Dream Program, which can offer up to $9,500 for down payment assistance. Sunny May has a great down payment assistance loan program that Again, based upon your income and qualifying criteria, can either be a minimum of $3,000 or $7,500 in grant money up to $30,000. In other words, bringing down the loan to value on the home to 80%. Paul is a great resource on that as well. The City of Albany has a home acquisition program, down payment and closing cost assistance. There's a great new program, the TUI home ownership program, that can offer up to $10,000 in the City of Albany for people buying homes. And that is targeted to families who've historically been out of the home buying process, and those are Black families in particular that we're targeting with that great program. For home repairs, as I mentioned, the NYSERDA energy efficiency program that will help with insulation, new heating systems, hot water tanks, that type of thing. So again, if you're looking at a house and you're worried about where's the money going to come from to get that working but ancient heating system done, be aware that after you buy, right, once you own, you might be eligible for that energy efficiency program from NYSERDA. We can help you figure that out when we meet with you. The weatherization program is also a great resource in Power, helping lower income families and households with 100% of the financing needed to get that work done. The City of Albany has for owner occupants the HOAP program up to $40,000 for repairs. Lead abatement is also available. Again, if you have a household with a kid under 6, that's when that program can come into play, and they will take out the troublesome, things that create lead dust, and those are your windows, your ancient windows, and those door jambs, right, that are creating the dust in your home, the lead dust. For investors, there are many, many fewer grant programs. The City of Albany does have a great program. It's the Tenant Assistance and Repair Program. It's targeted to tenants living in your home. New tenants need to earn under 60% of area median income. You do need to keep the units affordable. Right now, the program is set up so that it is in conjunction with the lead abatement program. And those two programs right now are targeted to those units that have kids under 6. So it is somewhat limited, but again, those are the exact units that you want to have the lead abatement program in, because you don't want to set yourself up. You don't want to set yourself up as a landlord and have the possibility of having a lead toxic kid as one of your tenants. That's not what we want to do. So those are some of the grant resources. Again, we specialize in homeownership. If you're thinking about buying and rehabbing a home that you will continue to own and occupy, give us a call. We'd be happy to meet with you and again, connect you with all the great resources that are available. So thank you.